Hello.
Blech.
Yep. I'm Llytic.
I'm Ichi-Tan, slowly regretting my life's choices.
I was regretting mine long before this. And welcome to What Are We Reading? We are going to be, hopefully, managing to finish the Sir Sam saga. Hopefully. As anyone who's been keeping up with this likely knows, this is written by a Redditor by the name of Lady Saber, posted on r/neckbeard stories some 5 years ago, and there is going to be links to the chapters in the comments for anyone who wants to read along with us.
Pure torture.
We're going to be starting with Sir Sam the Chivalrous Goes on a Venture Part 2, or How My Hobbies Were Saved from the Endangered Species list. I miss having hobbies. Hello everyone, Milady Saber here with the lucky 13th installment of Sir Sam the Chivalrous. This story takes place a few weeks after Part 1. Reading the previous installments will be well worth your time. Trigger warning, this tale encompasses 3 straight days of interaction with Sir Sam. It is extremely long. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Hold strong.
Here one is me, Lady Saber of House Snark. Mood. Very enthusiastic about backpacking. I've just joined a local venture crew at the beginning of the month. Similar to fencing practice, appearances take back seat while in the wilderness. Makeup will just be something else to carry around, and I put my hair up in a tight bun or ponytail to keep it from getting too disgusting. Cute outfits get traded for athletic shirts and cargo pants.
Nice. I want to go hiking again.
Fucking cave cryptid.
Not my fault that allows me to... It's like one of the only things that allows me to actually clear my mind. Unfortunately, everything around me is flat. Oh. Player 2 is my boyfriend, John. Also an outdoor person. He's the one who invited me to the first venture meeting. He has a dry sense of humor and is much better than I am at keeping a straight face while joking with someone.
Motherfucker.
The guy throughout the rest of this was John, right? Same guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, well, good on you. Meanwhile, you're just crying in another server.
I am trying another server. I lost $2,000.
I don't know, it was 2,000 yen. That's more like $20.
Shut up. Minor player 4 is Jamie, the venture crew president.
You skipped a
Oh,
paragraph.
whoops, my bad. Anyways, sorry. Player 3 is Sir Sam the Chivalrous, the whitest knight in all of Westeros.
Trademark.
He's likely never spent more than 3 consecutive hours outside. He wears a baggy long-sleeve shirt, a wide-brimmed blue fedora, brand new hiking shoes, and thick cargo shorts. Finally, one of his clothing articles is appropriate for the occasion. In case we've forgotten, Sam has a high-pitched whiny tone of voice, which he often employs as an alpha male to get what he wants.
Ah, yes.
Yay.
The alphaest of sounds.
That sounds like a turtle having sex.
No, that's... But who the fuck wears a fedora like hiking? What?
Mm.
I don't think in any of my hat phases I wore a fedora while hiking. Like, there's a few wide brim hats that you could wear while hiking to, like, keep the sun out of your face and, like, keep you in the shade, but... Fedora just seems like the wrong one entirely.
You're asking a person who literally only wears beanies.
Now, that won't keep the sun out of your eyes.
I know that. I
It will,
actually
however,
have.
keep you. I was gonna say it will, however, keep you from dying of like cold exposure almost immediately up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I do have some sun hats, so.
Yeah. It's one of the things I always like whenever I bring that up on like the whole fucking like the whole like temperature charts of like whenever it starts getting below freezing that like people always seem to be surprised that one of the things always mentioned on there is like exposed forehead to this temperature will result in death in this amount of time, and it's like, why your forehead? It's like, I don't know, maybe it's because it's like literally just skin, bone, brain.
Skin, bone, brain.
Like the rest of your head, like that's that close to the brain, at least has the insulation of your hair, usually. The forehead does not. Forehead is uninsulated and you will die of hypothermia. It's real fun when it's freezing rain because then you just start getting like a fucking headache when you're outside. Anyway,
Sounds absolutely disgusting.
yes. I remember like one time in Wisconsin like being caught in that, and then I went inside and almost immediately choked on a pretzel. Weird day. Like it was one of those stick pretzels. And when I
Yeah.
tossed it in my mouth, I tossed it too far. And so it like wedged itself between my palate and my throat. And so I am alone in this house, like choking on a pretzel that is currently just stuck in my throat, just thinking, wow, this is gonna be a really interesting way to die.
I just got the mental image of what was
It
it
wasn't one of the
fucking
thin ones either, it was the braided ones.
oh no, so I just got this mental image, right, of whatchamacallit, the Finding Nemo movie where the pelican tries to eat Marlin.
Yeah.
just that sequence. Sound and all.
Just like, and then finally managed to cough it up into my mouth after a while. It's just like, well, here I am, soaking wet, choking on a pretzel.
So goddamn. You're fucking weird.
Not like that.
You're fucking weird.
Minor Player 4 is Jamie, the Venture Crew president. A year or two older than John and I, he's a pretty average dude. Has lots of backpacking experience, a fantastic leader, and most importantly, he has a cool head. I mean, look at that thing. Fantastic.
Yes. Let's see.
It radiates shades energy despite the fact that he's not wearing sunglasses.
Oof. On Friday evening, my host mother drops me off in the church parking lot. Most of who are going to attend are already present. I turn in a check to pay for the trip and the rest of my medical forms. There are 14 people attending, 4 of them adults, all evenly split between genders.
I was only barely able to attend this trip. I didn't bring any of my backcountry gear to any of my backcountry gear to backcountry gear to America. As I didn't have any space on my flight and I didn't think I would have a chance to do any backpacking. I was wrong, and my father, real MVP, paid a stack to have my gear shipped. I still had to make a stop at REI to pick up a few things, like stove fuel, that couldn't be put in the mail. Yeah, it makes sense that you can't just mail fuel overseas.
Yeah. Let's see. I plan to be early, but I'm one of the last to arrive. Everyone is gathered around a large plastic bin reorganizing their packs. While we all have personal gear, clothes, sleeping bags, survival stuff, there is still a lot more to add. Items like tents, a first aid kit, iodine tabs, a trowel, camp stoves, and our food. In examining some of the outdated crew gear, I decided to don my white armor and speak to Jamie.
I don't know, I just suddenly am like, hey, did you pack the trowel so that we can, like, do a bit of digging? Oh, fuck, I thought you said towel. Anyway. Hey, Jamie, I don't want to sound rude, but a lot of this gear is really heavy.
Oh, hey, Lady Saber. The stuff we have isn't the best, but it gets the job done. Don't worry, we split it up so everyone gets an equal weight.
Whereas anytime I go hiking with people, I end up with the role of pack mule.
Well, you're able to carry my fat ass, so that makes sense.
I'm also sometimes used as a battering ram to get through crowds. So that's less hiking and more amusement parks.
It's
Yeah,
your
I realized with annoyance he's lumped me in with Sir Sam. Here's my second chance at a first impression.
Yeah, I get that, but I have my own stuff that might work better than what we have.
Oh, really? His tone is thick with skepticism.
The stoves you have use liquid fuel in a metal canister. Each one weighs almost a kilo. The one I have uses butane fuel. I don't know how fast yours work, but I can boil water in about 5 minutes.
Nice. We got his interest now. Here it is. Can you show me?
I spend the next few minutes setting up the stove. The burner clicks into place on top of the flat bottom fuel canister. I spin a clicker to throw sparks across the stream of gas, and a blue flame jumps to life. I've drawn a crowd.
Oh, that's awesome. What else you got? That feel when you prove you know your shit. That is a lot of yous in that sentence.
Yep.
And it's a gif of, I forgot her name.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. That's right. Yelling this is the best. I knew it was one of the Emmas.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
By the end of the show and tell, I've replaced their two heavy stoves with mine, and the collapsible metal trowel with my high density plastic one. I carry those things, plus a carabiner and one of the bear bags. My 3-person tent group splits the components up. I carry the poles and stakes. As we move on to repacking our food, Sam's minivan crests the hill of our parking lot like a carnival roller coaster of dubious safety.
Oh no. Oh no. He's in the driver's seat, with Mrs. Sam in the passenger seat. As I got closer, it's easy to see just how frustrated his expression is. Mrs. Sam points for him to turn left, and Sam bangs on the steering wheel like a corporate dad in traffic.
Eef.
Okay. I can see by the way his mouth moves that he's raising his voice. They park crooked near the group. Sam squirms out of the driver's seat and opens the back door, producing a fully loaded backpack.
Eef.
That's a bit much.
You think?
Yeah?
He shoulders it, hops, and starts clipping all the buckles into place. Once sufficiently mummified, he strides toward me, tipping his euphoria in greeting.
That's a... Oh, God. There is literally an advertisement for the movie Euphoria, like in the corner of this page for me right now.
Oh, I have an advertisement for Feeding America.
I also had something for some online game called Feral. Not sure what that's about. Might be
It
a
knows
furry thing,
you.
I'm not sure. Okay, one, not a furry.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I kind of prefer human faces. Or at very least, mostly human faces. Nose is optional.
Oh my god.
I'll just put a wig on Voldemort. Anyway. Hey, Lady Saber. Looks like I'm right on time. Are you? You showed up after everyone else.
Yeah, I guess. We're splitting up our gear, so make sure you check in.
Sam bobs away happily, and I return to repacking our food. The rations we get are sealed in plastic. Each one contains enough for 2 people. John and I pair up for an eating group. I take Sunday's breakfast and Saturday's dinner. The hell is that noise? That didn't sound like your toy. Anyway,
Hmm.
let's see. Instead of the entrees, included with the sealed rations, we're bringing our own. To repack them, I open the bag, take out the original main course, and replace it with what the crew has provided. With that, my bag is ready to go, along with most everyone else. Yeah, well, I've never really had the opportunity to go hiking, usually because it starts flooding whenever I do. So...
Really?
Did I say hiking? I meant camping. Camping. Camping.
I'd really like to go camping.
I'd like to go camping too. Not when it's flooding.
You know. But yeah, no, Robert's been what did I
Roommates been
just
talking about?
Yeah, roommate's been talking about going too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, give me a second.
You alright?
Yeah.
Want me to read ahead?
Sorry,
read
I
ahead.
needed to sneeze. I'm good.
Oh.
Okay. Anyways. Of course, Sam is not quite there yet. He was on the attendee list. So his crew gear and food have already been set aside. Upon discovering this, however, Magental Sir is most displeased.
You see, in my case, I would have just looked at him and, like, oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't need to bring everything. Hey, Jamie, what's all this junk?
That's your gear, Sam.
No, my stuff is right here. He jerks a thumb over his shoulder.
Yes, but there's other stuff you have to carry for the crew. And your food. Stuff that we all need to use.
Yeah, like, as soon as, like, the mention of, like, no, this is stuff for, like, the entire group that we all need, like, that's being split up among people. Yeah, no, like, alright, I understand what's going on. Taking stuff with me. Got it. But instead, Sam empties his first flagon of wine. No one else is carrying extra stuff. Why do I have to do it?
Sam, we've already packed. Everyone's waiting on you.
Just in time. Oy. That gets him moving. He crams a coil of rope and a first aid kit into the top of his bag while Jamie carefully goes over Sam's packing.
Hey, Sam. I just want to go over some of your gear, okay?
Why?
Just to make sure you have everything. I've got a list.
I have everything I need, Jamie. Okay, no, again, oh, okay.
Great.
Hands over bags. I have this.
Great. This should go quick then. Jamie rattles off his list of essentials, and Sam produces each item, after some rummaging with a smug grin.
Now, I have to give credit where credit is due. Sam does his homework. Took me years to learn about all about what to bring, what I need, not to mention buying it all. Sam, doubtless with help from Mrs. Sam, collected this information in less than a month. If neckbeards, Nick. If neckbeards are good at anything, it's Googling. You there?
Yep.
Okay.
For the drive, we get assigned to cars. Guess who's in mine?
Not Sam, God's be praised. John and I ride together with Jamie and another girl that I'm tenting with.
After an hour of driving, we park at the campsite, pile out of our cars, and gather ourselves. I, with everyone else, take off my bencher uniform shirt. We're required to wear them to and from our events, but they're not really comfortable or practical to wear during an activity. I start to unbutton my shirt, revealing my tank underneath. When I notice Sam watching me. He snaps his gaze to the side when I look up at him, but carefully returns when he thinks I'm not looking. Skin crawling, I finish changing on the other side of the car.
Gross. Gross.
Ah.
Nah. The sun's sinking low, we strike out. John and I walk abreast. Alternating between holding hands and punching each other. Oh yeah, that's adorable. Sir Sam, sensing that his chivalry is needed to protect Milady's honor, wedges himself between John and I. A la our introduction to chess club. Homie! The trail might be wide enough for 2 or even 3 normal-sized humans, but with Sam in the mix, John is forced to go off-roading. John and I fall back behind Sam, so he slows down, so we pick up pace. The game of leap whale continues for almost 2 kilometers. By the end, however, Sam is lagging farther and farther behind until he's at the back of the group.
Gross.
I imagine that unlike the trails around here, they're not covered in yucca. Try to go off-roading there and you're just stabbing yourself in the shins.
Hey guys, can we take a break? He's breathing hard enough to stoke a fire and sweating like he's been standing in one, despite the cool temperature.
Sure thing, Sam. Fiver, everyone. Oi. Jamie sets his watch as Sam unclips his pack and collapses in a heap on the ground. Everyone else remains standing, packs on.
Sam, don't sit down. It's just a fiver.
Yeah, for a short break like that, for one, you're trying to make sure that you don't end up having your heart rate go back down to resting, because then it's just going to fucking, tire you out even more. What? Why? I'm taking a break.
You don't sit for a short break, Sam. It makes it harder to keep going.
Yeah, just what I said. You sit down, then you're gonna have a harder time getting back up, and you're just gonna feel more exhausted overall as you keep going. Because your body goes into, like, relaxation mode. It's like, alright, I'm just gonna, like, rest here. And then, like, it
Die
immediately
there.
gets jolted out of there. Hi there?
Nope.
Who there? What?
Death. That's what.
Oh. Okay, I didn't know if you were saying hi to someone or...
No, I said die there.
Oh,
Like,
die there. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, like... Ugh. They argue for what one is supposed to do for a 5-minute break for the next 6 minutes, which is about as effective as reasoning with a stubborn box of pasta.
Huh.
I feel called out. You know my father was a stubborn box of pasta. Thankfully, Jamie has a cooler head than Sam. When it's time to go, Sam activates his passive-aggressive alpha male abilities, taking forever to put on his pack. Watching him don it is a circus of its own. Hi, Cody. Just gonna stuff your head under the armrest.
Yeah.
Instead of, I don't know, putting your head around the armrest.
Yeah.
And now your brother came in. And he's upset that you're getting attention.
Yeah.
Because even though I have both hands, I'm supposed to exclusively pet him.
Yeah.
Just enough hands for both of you idiots.
Yeah.
You can both catch scritches.
Yeah.
You bunch of bitches.
Yeah.
Hey, careful. Don't fucking, like, nose my Switch, like, charging cable. Fucking hell, dude. Anyway.
Yeah.
You can both catch scritches, you bunch of bitches. No, there ain't no hitches. No, this deal ain't got hitches. Fuck. Anyway.
Yeah.
Waiting on you, babe.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, after a significant struggle and 3 people helping him, Sam finally gets back on his feet, puffing and puffing.
How did you throw the drawing model off my desk without touching it?
Because fuck you, that's how.
Fucking hell, the Pitbull has psychic powers.
Yeah, it was totally the
hey.
pit bull and not me just helping him fuck with you.
Off my lap. Off my lap. Off my lap. You're gonna catch my headphone cords. It's gonna cause a problem. Before we've gone another half kilometer, Sam started complaining about his feet hurting. Hey, Jamie, can we take a break? It's also why you don't use new hiking boots.
That's
Like
not
fucking
gonna
break.
help your feet, Sam. We've got a long way to go to our campsite.
You gotta use shoes that your feet are used to.
Yep, as somebody who has chronic foot pain, that is a very true statement.
Admittedly, I tend to wear hiking boots anyway because I find them comfortable. And I like the grip. But, yeah, like... you're gonna do a forced march. I mean, like... Also, it's not like they're doing a fucking forced march. I'm pretty sure that these guys are just going at, like, normal walking pace. So it's not like you're having to do sustained speed. Like, you're not... I highly doubt that they're basically just all fucking power walking.
Ging.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke about it being a church group, so I highly doubt any of them are doing the gay power walk. At least not openly. Meanwhile, that's just my normal walk. The crew is forced to match our pace with Sam. He trails in the rear of the group, with the adults giving him a pep talk through every step. By the end of the 4th kilometer, snails are outrunning us. We're forced to take a 20-minute break so that Sam can catch his breath. Well. Clearly this guy was never a marching band kid.
Nope. It's gotten totally dark, but we hike on at a crawl. At long last, we arrive at our campsite. As my tent mates and I start setting up our tent, Sam stumbles over.
No. 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 Hey, Lady Saber, want a tent together? No. I... You there?
Yep. What?
Do you want a tent with me? I have, like, the tent part and you have the poles. I think you have this metaphor a bit backwards, bud.
Yeah. No, Sam. Girls and guys can't tent together. Your tent mate is on your side.
He opens and shuts his mouth a few times, looking for an argument, before slumping away, muttering something to himself. As soon as we finish our tents, we have to hang bear bags. They're to be filled with food and other smellables that might attract some furry friends. Goons, foxes.
Llytic.
That was one.
Sam and his tent mate, who we'll call Pip, have taken a long time late as we fill the bags.
Hanging the bear bags is a chore. We have to throw 2 ropes over a tree branch about 10 meters up, tie the bags together, hoist them into the air, and then secure the lines to 2 different trees. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. So it's making sure that something that's in the tree is also going to have a harder time getting to him.
Yep.
Can't just go across the branch to the bag. Okay, got ya.
Yep. Sam, desperate to demonstrate his prowess in the wilderness to Milady, offers to throw one of the ropes. Yeah, you basically are hanging it like you'd hang a piñata.
It's always fun how much they screamed.
Oh my god.
Right. Jamie, echoing our sympathies, is in no mood for shenanigans that might keep everyone awake longer than necessary. In the dark, it's a challenge to hang the bags, but not impossible. After we finish, Jamie tells everyone to get some sleep. We'll be waking up early in the morning. Sam is not pleased.
Wait, Jamie, aren't we gonna have a campfire?
Sam, it's almost midnight. Go to bed.
But what about our food? I'm hungry.
We aren't eating tonight, Sam. You should have had dinner before we left. That was in the email. Don't worry. We'll have breakfast in the morning.
Oh.
Why would you not eat before this sort of thing?
Is he stupid? Anyways, Sam fills another cup of wine in protest, but everyone has already turned in. I snuggle down into my sleeping bag. dreading the next day.
Seems that I haven't closed my eyes for more than a few seconds when it's light outside. Not sure what time it is, but I let the air out of my sleeping pad and crawl out of the bed. I will say that is one of the things that I really like about like fucking hiking and like other stuff like that. Like it is real fucking easy to get to sleep after.
Mm.
You know?
Yep.
I'm one of the first. I throw on my clothes, stuff everything into its sack, and peek out of our camp. I'm one of the first ones awake, so I roust my tent mates, and we start to break down. We have a long enough trek today, and I don't want to think about how much longer it's going to take towing Sam like a river barge. Maybe that's what everyone needs, like what you need to do. You just need to have like the strongest member of like this fucking hiking trip. Like have a rope tied to their pack that is then tied to Sam.
Yep. If you're taking
That'll
down...
keep him going at the right pace.
Nice. Let's see. We have a long enough trek today, and I don't want to think about how much... Oh, whoops. Right, bad. After taking down our tent, you fucked me up talking in the middle of me trying to read. It's like, okay, here we go. After taking down our tent and splitting up its parts, the bear bags come down and we spill their contents onto the ground like Lannister blood. Ugh. I find a breakfast and dinner to carry, which I shove into my bag. By now, almost everyone is awake, involved in taking down their own tents or helping other people speed the process along.
Pip approaches Jamie. Sam won't get up.
He what?
He won't get out of his sleeping bag. He told me to fuck off when I tried to wake him. Feel like you're going to draw the comparison, so before you say anything, that's just how my face is. I wasn't giving a death glare, that's just my face.
Jamie and Pip hurry to Sam's lair. Jamie yells through the tent wall, "Get up, Sam!" Everyone else is getting ready.
Dude, it's not even light outside. Go away, I'm still sore from yesterday. It is light outside, what?
Jamie has run out of fucks to give. He unstakes the fly and rips it off the top of the tent. From where I'm standing, I can't see Sam in all of his splendor, but I imagine his facial expression is something between Smeagol's fear and Gollum's anger.
John and I are sitting on the ground eating our breakfast of trail mix and freeze-dried cardboard when Sam emerges from hibernation. He and Pip dismantle the tent and get ready to go, with everyone staring on.
As we start on our trek, Sam tries to keep pace with me, asking how my feet don't hurt with old beat-up boots like that.
You dumb motherfucker!
Mm-hmm.
They're broken in.
What does that even mean?
How? How did... What? Are there straight up people that don't know what that means?
Yeah, looks like it.
Is this just like a thing like with sheltered ass straight dudes where they don't know what broken in mean? Like broken in shoes means? Just broken in general is just a normal phrase. It's like literally like what you use for like learning like the quirks of something new that you've bought. Like once using it as second nature, it's broken in. What? Sam, just leave me alone right now, okay?
We hike on at a respectable pace for about 2 kilometers until Sam begs for a break. While we
It's only
stand...
2K.
Yep. While we stand, John shows me a new toy he's brought. It's a stick pin with the ends cut off, about 8 centimeters long, from his pocket. He pulls out a plastic BB, pops it in his mouth, and with the tube concealed in his face, he fires a pellet at the back of Pip's shoulders with a quiet pfft. It doesn't hurt. In fact, it's barely perceptible. Like a single small raindrop. It's just enough to make someone turn, scratch uncertainly, glance to see if anyone's tapped them, and disregard it as if it's nothing.
God damn it. If you're the covert culprit in this spectacle, it's hilarious. Yeah?
I'm
Yeah.
reading this spectacle and it's hilarious.
Yeah. Really.
John pelts him a few more times before setting his sights on Sam. He crams a small handful of pellets into his cheek and lands a hit on Sam's lower leg. Sam scrabbles at it, brushes the skin with his foot, and examines the ground.
How sensitive is this man's skin?
So sensitive.
The majority of our morning hike is an uphill climb. The elevation change is gradual, but Sam acts like he's marching the Trail of Tears. If the tears were saturated with high fructose corn syrup. Crow, not my lap. I know you hear my pain, but that doesn't mean you need to try and hop on my lap.
Eventually, we cross a small stream. We take the opportunity to refill our water, pumping through a filter into our bottles and dropping in the iodine tablets. I don't carry bottles, though. I just have a camelback and another separate bladder, which is sufficiently awkward to fill with a pump designed to screw onto the top of a bottle. John holds the bladder steady while I pump, occasionally sloshing it at me.
Sam, not to be outdone in the chivalry department, rushes to my aid. Yikes. He grabs another side of the bladder while I pump, and valiantly prevents any sloshing tomfoolery from John. Soon, Sam realizes that letting the fragile milady do the work is unacceptable. He wrests the pump from me, leaving me standing like Tom Sawyer while he slowly pumps water. Of course, pumping 3 liters of water through a filter is actually a lot of work, and Sam takes frequent breaks to wiggle his arms like wet spaghetti noodles. I try to talk him into giving me the pump, but the chivalry is just too strong with this one. Finally, Jamie saves the day.
Sam, is that your camel?
No, it's Lady Saber's.
Okay, but you need to fill up your own containers. We've got another filter over here. I think Lady Saber can handle her own water pump.
Oh, how terrible of a world we live in which women have to pump their own water. I'm trying to be helpful, Jamie. Yeah, and you're failing.
That's great, Sam. But we've got to keep going. Come on, fill up.
I already have.
No, you haven't.
How would you know that?
Because I've been watching you. I think you've drained your camel in at least one of those water bottles.
That's creepy as shit, Jamie. It's his fucking job.
Jamie shrugs. It's my job. Now give Lady Saber the pump and fill up your own water. We're all waiting on you.
Sam shifts uncomfortably. I haven't emptied my camels.
Well, you haven't filled them up either. Come on, Sam.
I don't want to water it What?
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 No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Keep reading.
I did. I read my line. He doesn't want to water it down.
That catches everyone's attention. What are you talking about? Jamie pauses. Sam, show me what's in your containers.
Sam refuses repeatedly until Jamie snatches one of Sam's bottles from the side pocket of his pack and unscrews the lid. Is this soda?
Yeah. So?
Jesus, is that what's in your camel too?
No, that's just sweet tea.
You don't want to fucking have it to where your primary source of hydration is, and food for that matter, is something highly laden in sugar. You have essentially just brought several bottles of liquid candy with you.
You're liquid candy.
Yes, but that's besides the point. Oh! Like again, last time I went hiking, it was me and Ichi-Tan. We went to like a fucking Brahms beforehand and I had a milkshake. But you know what? That wasn't the majority of my nutrition and hydration. That was a side thing. That was a fucking side thing. And I even jokingly was like, it's probably not a good idea to have dairy before hiking.
But he did it anyways.
And I didn't get a stomachache. But at the same time, this is something I'm used to. Also, I'm not lactose intolerant. But this is something I'm used to. Physical labor is my jam. I carry the heavy thing not to show off, but because I like carrying heavy things. My point is, what the actual fuck? Like, I would never fucking have it to where, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna bring a bunch of fucking sodas. I wouldn't even bring, like, fucking, like, Powerade or Gatorade or whatever the shit, because that's not much better for you.
It's really not.
Like, I'm personally offended by this one.
He's so offended.
This is just a mockery of something I love. At that, the adults play the safety card. They talk Sam into pouring out his beetus juice and filling up with water. The rest of the group watches in stunned silence as Sam pours out his levulose libations into the stream. I'm not sure pouring them into the stream is the best idea. I'll say that right now. Probably not good for the environment. Then again, it's probably not much better to be pouring out onto the soil. Just don't take soda into the woods. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways. After replacing fizzy sugar syrup with water, Sam's pace improves. Wow.
Wow.
Instead of a crawl, we hike at a more of a tired trudge. While the original plan was to eat lunch while fishing, we're so far behind that we have to walk and eat while we hike up the ridge. We take 5 minutes on a rocky clearing to admire the view, which is truly spectacular. Though I don't remember it quite as vividly as I do Sam's comments.
Oh my fucking I guess in order to like soften this blow, since I'm going to get upset, the whole WoW thing just reminded me. I rewatched like Legally Blonde earlier this year, and like the love interest of that is Owen Wilson's brother, right?
Yeah.
Or like played by Owen Wilson's brother. He does it too. They both say "wow" like that. It's hilarious.
Wow.
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 This is kind of lame, huh?
No, I actually think it's kind of pretty.
Yeah, me too. I was talking about the uphill hike.
Oh. Well, hiking uphill does suck. I'm in no hurry to let Sam think his wooing attempts are even remotely successful.
You see, that's what you need. That's when you need to do what I do and just fucking scramble up, like just up sheer faces that you shouldn't. Greatly concern the people you're hiking with. Hey. Anyway, it's afternoon by the time we crest the ridge and begin our downhill descent. Oh, God, it's gonna turn into like the fucking boulder scene from Indiana Jones. He's gonna trip and just not stop falling. And he's at the back of the group. Am I audible?
I'm sorry, one of my friends just sent me a meme and it's like, when they say it's 2% milk, I don't know what the other 98% is.
That's not what 2% means. It's talking about fat content. Even then, the fat is better for you because whenever it's fat-free or 2%, what they've done is they've replaced the fat with sugar, which is much worse for you. I that's unrelated, but I. Anyway, while we plan to be well into our fishing by now, we've only covered about 8 kilometers in 5 hours. Yikes. I think most species of rocks move faster.
Thankfully, the downhill grade speeds us up. We cover the remaining 4 kilometers in just under 2 hours. Everyone is relieved to finally arrive at the fishing place. One of our adult leaders is the owner of the property, so she wastes no time jumping into her talk.
It took them a full hour per mile for that first part.
Mm-hmm.
8 kilometers is approximately 4.97 or 5 miles. Like, 1 mile per hour is like bare minimum walking speed. Like, that's. Oy. Anyway, things are fine until she asks, who here is 16 or older?
Most hands, including mine, Sam's, and John's, go up. All right, if you're over 16, I'll need to see a fishing license. Then we should be all good to go.
Okay, so this is. Alright, because that's specifically for like non-catch and release, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's been a while since I fished to eat.
well, no, it depends on. Honestly, depends on where
State.
you live, because in Texas and New Mexico, which is where I fished the most with my dad, unless it was I think it was under the age of 10, you didn't have to have a license for catch and release, which under the age of 10, that was the only type of fishing you were allowed to do. But once you were 10 and older, you had to have a license whether you're doing catch and release or catch and keep.
Okay.
I at least know that's for sure in Texas, and I think it's the same in New Mexico. It depends on the state.
Well, I guess it's a good thing no one ever asked me for my license whenever I was fishing in any of the city parks.
Yeah.
I mean, it was catch and release, but
Well, city parks, you're only allowed to do catch and release. That's probably
well,
why they just
yes,
didn't bother.
yeah. Anyway, but no, I've never like just went out about somewhere and fished. Uh, at least not successfully. I think I did like a little bit in Wisconsin, but never succeeded in catching anything. Okay, I'm gonna go take care of something quick. Out the room. Take your toy. There we go. But yeah. See, where the fuck's the not the license. Okay. We dig into our packs to fish out, teehee, the slips of paper. John and I had gotten ours a week before, as part of the greater study of the wild creatures of Walmart. Yeah, it's weird, kind of weird that you can get that from Walmart. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't hear anything the first time.
Anyways.
Walmart. There it is. When Milady of the Fish reaches Sam, things go off the rails like a freight train sideswiping a children's hospital.
Oof.
Classic trolley problem.
Do you have a fishing license?
I forgot.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy, but I can't let you fish without a license.
But don't you like own the land?
Well, yeah, but I don't own the fish.
Got a point there. I didn't think I would need one. A little fuzzy on the details, but I think that's the same way Jesus turned water into wine. Oh, god damn it. It's a pun. I missed the H. Mm.
Anyways,
Hmm.
there was an email sent out to everyone. Didn't you read it?
No. My mom did. She didn't tell me.
Well, your mom isn't on this trip, buddy. That's your responsibility. I'm really sorry, but there's nothing I can do about that.
Turns out his mom did get a fishing license, but for her. She's actually just in a different part of like the land fishing on her own.
Enjoying
Ignoring
our break from
her
being
son.
a child. Yeah.
We get the fishing poles and bait while Sam stews in the grass. John and I find a shady spot on the riverbank. I don't have the patience for fishing, so John lets me try the pellet tube thing. The pellets are biodegradable, so I don't have to feel too bad about them landing in the river. Of course, that probably means they're full of methylethyl bad stuff that shouldn't go in your mouth. Oh well.
Decent shot, but I'm no good at keeping a straight face, nor hiding the tube in my fist. Jamie, my first target, catches on pretty quick and returns fire with tiny river rocks.
That's hilarious. After an hour or so of not catching anything, John becomes convinced that crickets will serve as better bait. Those little fuckers aren't easy to catch, believe me.
Mm.
Believe me. But when I do get a hold of one, I drop it down the back of his shirt. That's a different kind of bait.
During all this time, Sam is either wandering between different people or sitting on the ground like an angry bump on a spiteful pickle. Eventually, he does make his way to John and I, plopping down next to me with a thud that tips the Richter scale. I don't have much tolerance for one-sided conversation about my stupid fucking mom didn't tell me, so John and I cross to the other side of the river. The water is ankle deep, but our boats are waterproof. From our side of the moat, we watch Sam fee-fi-fo-fumming back and forth along his side of the bank. He keeps busy alienating everyone he talks to with the same conversation topic, removing his fedora to punch it a few times in between.
Fucking hell, calm down, dude. It's fishing. You ever been just so annoying that people waited across a river to get away from you?
All day, every day.
Seriously, fucking. The respite I get from Sam lasts a few precious hours until it's time to cover the remaining distance to our campsite. We return in our fishing gear and mount our packs. The remaining 2 kilometers are behind us before the sun sets. We set up our camp.
For dinner, we fill an enormous pot with water and balance it precariously atop my tiny camp stove. While the water churns to a boil, we dig out our dinner rations and eating utensils. I hadn't paid... Stupid Steam. Sorry.
Leave me alone, Steam.
I hadn't paid a lot of attention to the dinner while I repacked it, but now I take a look at the package.
Dehydrated spaghetti and Italian meatballs.
Ew. Sam's sour mood brightens like a fluorescent bulb as the hot water is poured into the package. It has to sit for a few minutes as the food cooks itself, and Sam looks like he's about to jump out of his skin with excitement. Once it's ready, he dumps the whole bag onto his plate, and Jamie barely stops him.
Who gets that excited over spaghetti and meatballs? I just suddenly flash back that there was one episode where it was just me and Tom, and the entire time I'm making my way through a dehydrated ice cream sandwich. Anyway. Sam, that's the feed too. You and your tent mate. Plus, we've got to say grace.
Jamie asked me to lead a dinner prayer, even though the only ones I know are in Latin. Sam suffers through it, but contains his euphoria for a noodly reward. After begrudgingly allowing Pip to siphon half his dinner, Sam dives in face first. Suffering through a full day of exercise makes this feeding more obscene than usual. It's like shovel feeding a vacuum cleaner attached to Vitamix blender.
Ew.
John and I eat straight out of the pouch with sporks to avoid dirtying a plate. And we have to keep our eyes averted to maintain an appetite. The open-mouth chew-smack gulping is almost too much for me. Eventually he does finish, and after the rest of us have scarfed down our packaged side items and cleaned our plates, we decide to build a fire.
Well.
Ow.
Sam is stoked, tee-hee, for that too. He scampers to his pack, producing 3... My dyslexia almost caused me to say 3 less than no fire starters. Which raises some questions.
So many questions.
How do you have -3 fire starters for one? Did you just bring 3 fire extinguishers?
You ran out of spell slots.
Really? Producing no less than 3 different fire starters. A flint, a box of matches, and a Zippo lighter.
Jamie roused us to collect firewood, and getting a dozen well-fed people to hunt in the dusk for sticks is like herding feral cats with a feather duster.
Fun.
A half hour later, though, we have a nice-sized fire pile. Our fire ring is the metal rim of an old truck tire, half buried in the ground. Jamie and John go to work setting up a log cabin structure of tiny twigs, while Sam eagerly flicks his lighter open and closed.
You should never be that excited to start a fire.
Should be that
That's
excited to start a
That's
fire.
like a warning sign. I'm pretty sure that's just a warning sign in general. Okay, Sam. You want to light it? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sam kneels with his lighter, hits the striker, and nothing. Sparks each time, but a flame never catches.
Ha. It's not working. I just got the stupid thing.
Is there fuel in it?
Of course there is. It's brand new.
Zippos don't come with fuel, Sam. Here, let me take a look.
This is why you read the packaging.
Look, every budding pyromaniac knows if you buy a Zippo, you have to fuel it.
Oy. Sam cradles the lighter like it's his last can of SpaghettiOs. No way, dude. I know how to do it. Oh my
All right,
god.
let's see.
A minute or two of finagling later, and Sam manages to pull the lighter apart, revealing fuel reserves dry as Milady after the tip. I'm assuming of the fedora, but it could just as well be the other one.
Pip gets a flame to catch with his lighter, and a few of us take turn breathing life into the embers. Soon, a splendid fire is licking away. John and I lean on our packs against a nearby tree as a makeshift sofa back.
Sick. There we go. You're welcome. Turns out that Pip is actually wanted in several states for arson. Oh, hey. I got a surprise for you.
Oh.
Which one was it?
A John surprise is usually something along the lines of an exploding zucchini or a two-headed frog. But this is just a Ziploc bag with some stuff in it.
Well, it helps if I spell things right. S'mores! Was it that bite again?
No,
Still
it was
loading
much
for
more
me.
violent. Much more violent.
Sorry. Anyway, your line.
Damn it.
Is this just gonna be a back and forth?
Maybe. I've never done these
Constantly
before,
biting each other.
but I'm all about a toast and marshmallow. I pilfer a twig from a fire pile and strip the bark with my knife, skewer the puffball, and rotate it gently above the flames. John sets his on fire, blows it out only after it develops a black, ashy crust. Gross. I let mine get a golden brown and crispy. Oh my god, I want s'mores. We have a
S'mores.
fireplace.
Same. Let's see. The graham crackers are crunched a little, and the chocolate is just melting enough to make a mess. We're able to eat about 3 before it devolves into throwing crumbs at each other. Eventually, I can't stand to have melty goop on my hands anymore, so I lick 2 fingers clean and reach into my pack for a camp towel. But it's not where I usually keep it. Instead, my fingers close around something else, which I gingerly pull out.
It's my pocket Bible.
And now it's all sticky.
My father stuck it in one of my outside pockets when he shipped it. He read it to me as a little girl, and it's pretty much one of the only things we have in common. There's a little note inside the front cover, and the whole thing makes me teary-eyed and homesick. I tuck under John's arm and open to Luke, where all my favorite parables are. Sam spies my 2,000-year-old cartoon and decides to enlighten Milady with his own euphoric intelligence.
Oh boy. You know the Bible has like thousands of contradictions in it. Everyone knows that.
I don't care, Sam.
Literally the only people who don't know that are like the extremists. Everyone else knows that. Well, you should. I mean, you should understand what you believe, right? I ignore him, but he still presses, right?
Seething, John steps in. Hey, Sam. This fire's about to die.
And you're looking like kindling.
Woohoo! Bang, bang, bang.
So, throw some fucking wood on it. You alright there? Oh dear.
No, that won't help it. It needs a special tool.
What kind of tool?
The left-handed wind shifter. I think it's over near that pile of crew gear.
So I'm sort of thinking, and unfortunately, I know for a fact that I would likely fall for this. Because I am very... I shouldn't say dumb, but...
You're special.
This is the sort of situation, it's like, oh, alright, you need a tool? On it.
Except you would get halfway over there and then be like, wait a damn minute.
No, I get over there, like, Well, okay. Before I went, I would ask what it looked like. Oh no. A few other people sitting around the fire are in on the joke and egg Sam on. I duck to hide my foolish grin.
It's about this long, has a handle on one end, and this weird looking thing on the other. Trust me, you'll know it when you see it.
I'd fall for this.
Making a note for the next time we go camping.
I like being helpful. Okay.
I'll give you a marshmallow if you find it.
I've never felt more called out by by a story before.
You're only calling yourself out, bud.
He who exalts himself shall be humbled.
Sam jogs a few paces away from the fire to where we've piled our crew gear and shovels around in the dim firelight, searching for a tool that does not exist.
What's it look like again?
It's long and skinny with a handle on the end. You'll know it when you see it.
John lets fly a few pellets like those, while those of us sitting around the fire try not to crack. Even John lets a wry smile slip. Every 30 seconds or so, he'll fire a pellet towards Sam's shape.
Hey, are you guys feeling like raindrops?
Probably ticks, Sam. Okay, I can tell you from experience that you do not feel those. I
Tick?
cannot tell you that I'm having fucking PTSD flashbacks to literally just like running my hand along my neck and then suddenly like, wait, what the fuck is this? Like pulling away and just having a fucking tick in my hand.
Oh, at least it was on your neck.
Where do you tend to get them?
So, quick story time.
Oh boy.
My grandpa had gone to some railroad retiree party thingamajigger that one of his old buddies was hosting at this ranch property that he owned.
Yeah.
We stayed at a hotel, but pretty much every day we were out there at this property because like they had big barbecue cookouts, all this stuff like that. And everybody was like bringing their kids, grandkids. So like me and all the kids were like running around in this open wilderness. There was like 4-wheelers to play with, all this stuff like that. Great time. This is also where I developed my fear of grasshoppers because some of those grasshoppers out there were bigger than your hand, launching themselves at my face. Yeah, it was terrifying. Anyways, one night we get back to the hotel and I go take my shower because, you know, playing outside in the wilderness all fucking day, you're gonna need a fucking shower. Let's just say a tick decided to go into my no-no square.
Nope.
And my grandma I was 11 years old and my grandma had to help me. My grandpa had to go run to the store and get one of those tick removers.
Yeah.
And I had a very awkward moment with my grandmother.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
The tick.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I tend to get them on my neck and shoulders.
Yeah. Somehow one managed to get through both my pants and my underwear.
Yikes.
And I was wearing jeans tucked into like cowboy boots. So I don't know how it got there, but it got there.
Yep, little guys smell you and fall out of the trees.
Mm-hmm.
Check yourself. Make sure you don't got any hanging on. Especially on your, equipment. I have never gotten one anywhere like below like the nip.
Yeah, no, I had one. I had one definitely below the nip.
For lack of a better term, yeah. Oy.
Anyways. How he keeps a straight face, I will never know. I shove another marshmallow into my mouth so I don't catch the giggles. None of this is more than standard new guy teasing. But most don't eat it up like a bag of Doritos.
John tosses Sam a marshmallow, and soon everyone sitting around the fire is roasting one. John burns his as a sacrifice to the red god.
Yes.
Mood. I turn mine slowly, getting it crispy on the outside and almost melty enough to fall off the stick before shoving it in my mouth. Fuck.
I can't read this line. I can't.
I'll read the line. You just read the parts around it.
Sam snickers.
Hey, Lady Saber, I bet that's not the only white sticky stuff you swallow.
He grins like an idiot at the faces staring back at him. The girls are slightly revolted, and only one guy forces a nervous chuckle. Pip has the stone
Just
to call
one.
him out. Sam, that's nasty.
How do you have such little tact? The perfect marshmallow turns to acid as it goes down. John is about to speak up, but I start first. Oh boy.
I
You there?
squeeze John on the thigh and look straight back at Sam. And say, yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. Then Sam evaporates, and everyone gives me a 100% for being so cool and witty.
Gives me $100%. Well, I just... Okay, that's not what happened. That's out of my imagination, at least. I considered it before remembering rule number 1 of neckbeards. Don't feed the spank bank.
Yep. Instead, I spill my guts like the guy from Saving Private Ryan.
Take that back, Sam.
Haha, why?
Because it's fucking gross and not funny. Take it back.
It's not a joke. Get over it. It's just a joke. Get over it.
No, it's not a joke. It's repulsive. Like you.
What?
I'm so fucking fed up with you, Sam. You follow me around and ruin everything I enjoy doing. You insult me. Don't care about how I feel about what you say. It's not the venomous hellfire that I imagine it would be. It's just calm, evenly keeled rage.
Talking about? I'm nice to you. I wouldn't even come here if it wasn't for you.
You motherfucker.
Gonna need.
Gross.
You know what? After this, I might end up leaving my fucking house because I am going to need some alcohol.
I don't want you here, Sam. You're not nice to anyone. You're mean to your mother. You're mean to my boyfriend. I don't want to be your friend. Please leave me alone. My heart is crawling into my throat and my words are coming out stilted and staccato. But he's taken the hint. For a second, there's a thunderous silence.
Sam stands, clenches his fist, and stalks back to his tent without a word.
Pip breaks the ice, tossing a stick into the fire. Fucking hate that kid.
Same. After another hour or so, the rest of us put out the fire and filter off to bed. Most of the adults are already asleep. As I snuggle down in my bag, I can hear Sam's voice carrying through the woods.
The walls of a tent might seem snug and secure, but they have zero soundproofing. From distance, it's hard to make out the words.
She's fucking like I'm.
Pip's response is nothing more than a mumble.
But tried, nice, her.
Dude, bed.
You think could time?
Jamie's voice rings clear as a bell.
Shut the hell up and go to bed! Mood.
Feckers.
Deckers.
The next day is unremarkable. Sam avoids eye contact with me and deliberately keeps his distance all morning. We pack up, hike the short distance back to our cars, and return home right on time. Mrs. Sam waves to me and smiles as they leave the church parking lot.
It was mostly the end of my interactions with Sir Sam the Chivalrous for the year. We didn't share any classes, and he stopped going out of his way to see me otherwise. Over the summer, we didn't speak or come into contact, but this was still not the end.
It is, however, the end of this recording session. Special thank you to... yeah, it's been like over a fucking hour. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Special thank you to Andre D, Summer Moon Soldier, and Destiny Barrett for supporting us on Patreon. If you like what we do and would like to support us in any way, consider going down to that link in the description and pledging any amount of money you want. Every little bit helps. If you can't or don't want to do that, however, you can always just do the usual YouTube stuff. I mean, every little thing you do helps out the channel, interaction or monetary. No pressure. Like, genuinely, I'm not saying that as a joke. Yeah.
You're so awkward.
Yes. Sorry, you've known me how long?
Too damn long.
I think anyone who's known me for any amount of time has known me for too long. I'm Llytic.
I'm Ichi-Tan.
And this has been What Are We Reading? See you next time.